Well, been working at the shop all day. It's only like 3 o'clock and it feels like I've pulled a 10-hour shift. A friend of mine, he's the one that pulled me out of my front yard when I got stuck in my rollback. Bolin Towing, Michael Bolin is his name. He owns a towing outfit. Props to him. So if you're local to me, use Bolin Towing. This guy's awesome. So he's helped me move. The purple Civic is in bay 2. My blue Civic hatch is up at Art's house. The SC400's at Art's. The S13 is in bay 3, and I may end up getting one more before the day's out. So Michael Bolin, shout out to you, buddy. He's helped me stuff them in a couple of cars in the bays and load a couple onto my trailer. As he come down earlier and worked a little while, helped me get all that stuff done. Then he left, and I was kind of hanging out once I'd got back from taking one to Art, and he had a tow that he had to do. So as he come back through, he grabbed one and set it on the trailer for me, the hatch, my blue hatch, and I took it back up to Art. So that's knocked out 50% of what I've still got to do. The IS300 will drive, the 335 will drive, and so that leaves the 2 Chevy trucks, this Civic Coupe, and this what is this thing, Pontiac G6, and then whatever the S13 in there, and then whatever I figure out on that hatch. We still have to do that transmission conversion on my son's car to the CD. We don't have the parts for it yet, and that hatch was here and it wouldn't go in gear the other day, so I don't know if it's the transmissions are bad or what. But while I had it and I was fixed to put a car in there, I went ahead and did that so I could get it in there and see what's up with it. And then the S13, I'm waiting on a couple of brackets and mounts, so I can't do a lot there. So that left me a chance to work on that hatch just to see what it is. If it's too much, I may not work on it. If I got another transmission, I may just drop it all out and slap another transmission on it, change the head gasket, because it's supposed to have a bad head gasket, do all that, and just fix that car, make it running and driving before I leave here. I still got 20 some odd, 20 something. So yeah, that's what I'm working on, trying to get that squared away and make my way out of this joint. So yeah, if Michael comes back through, I might get another like this Civic or something today, and that way we can get a little closer to being out of here. So we'll find out, but either way. All right, here we go. All right, back at it. I've got the 13 up. I've got the CD009 transmission bolted to the 1JZ motor. I'm waiting on my cross member and my mount from Auto Sports Engineering. The cross member is actually Excessive Manufacturing, but the mount is Auto Sports Engineering. I'm actually having an issue with it. It's like it doesn't want to go far enough forward. I'm waiting on the mount and the cross member to see how much more forward I can go or stay, because the mounts, it's like the front mounts, I'm having to notch them out to slide the motor forward because the transmission combo is way too long. I've swapped the mounts on different sides. I've looked at other brands, they look exactly the same. The only thing I can do now is once the mount and the bracket come in, a cross member, is if it still has to go forward, the actual bolt holes on each mount, I'm gonna have to round them out more to allow the entire mount to slide forward just a little bit. It's not a ton that it looks like it needs to go, but it looks like it needs to go some. And I've already, the notch on the mounts, I've already cut the notch out as far as I can go. So I don't know, I've looked at other brands at the actual CD to 2J mounts or whatever, and they still all look the same. So I don't know that. I've swapped locations, I've swapped sides, I can't see that they go any other way but what I have, and they're just not placing the engine far enough forward to let the trans fall into place in the shifter. So again, when I get the cross member in the mount, that'll tell me how much more I have to go, or if I'm okay with where I'm at, because it's in, the shifter goes up, and I think it'll be okay where it's at, but I feel like it still needs to go a little further forward. Elevation, I need to know where it sits on the mount, how high it needs to go or how low, and then that'll tell me, where I need to go with the transmission or motor, or if it's okay. So, got that done, or at least I'm at that point. I still got it on the stands. I'm actually draining the oil right now. I'm gonna change the filter. When I let it back down, when I get the mount and stuff, I'm gonna put oil in it to store it for now. I found a hood. My son's going to get that hood this evening, maybe. The Civic, I went ahead and pulled the head off of it. That's the EK hatch. I pulled the head off of it to do a head gasket. And the head I had sitting here was a Z6 head, not a Y8. So I was supposed to drop it off Friday, and I went by the machine shop to drop it off Friday, and he was closed. I think I knew that. I'm not really sure, but I know he's closed on Mondays now. So I have to wait till tomorrow to take the Y8 head to see if it's good. Drop it off. It'll take him a couple days to get it turned around. And so today I'm packing totes. I emptied out this toolbox. I've got totes, and I'm gonna take like the engine stand and totes, and I'm moving stuff around. I'm having to hunt bolts, for transmission mount bolts and transmission housing bolts, and I did find a starter. We'll see if the starter will fit, because right now is the time to put a starter in a JZ when you can let the transmission down and get an angle, and I'm on a lift. Try to do all that. Clean off the back shelves. I've got the cutoff wheel and stuff to do my son's transmission. I may start it tomorrow, maybe Wednesday. And it's just packing up, and it's a mess now. Everything's trashed, everything's scattered. But it's starting to thin out. It won't take just a couple of days to get us moved out. And I still have to do my son's transmission, so I'm waiting on the mount, the cross member, and actually the parts to put my son's CD trans in his IS300. So if that stuff doesn't come for another week or so, we've only got a few days to get it in, get a measurement on a drive shaft, then we have to move everything out, and I have to wait on the drive shaft to come to the house maybe and put it in at the house, hopefully by the 7th, because I think we're going drifting next month on the 7th at Chilhowie. We should be going there, should be. But yeah, for now, I'm still just packing, cleaning, and trying to install what I can. And I'm kind of hung up on that. On my BMW, I think I'm gonna go ahead and change the oil and a few things. I'm debating on buying a radiator. It needs a radiator. I don't know if I have time to change it, so I may, depends on what I get done between now and let's say next week, because it only take like 2 days to get it, and it won't take a day to put it in. I can do it at the house, and I don't want to get it, have it here, and then just have to take it off to the house anyway and do it there anyway. I'll wait, and if I don't think I'm going to be able to get to it, it's fine, no big deal. I don't have to store it, I don't have to move it. And once I do get everything finished and cleaned up and cars hauled and all that, I can order it, have it come to the house, and just change it out at the house in the driveway. It shouldn't be that bad. Yeah, this should be the last 3 cars minus, if I want to do anything to my BMW. These 2 and then my son's IS300. Should be the last 3 cars go through the lifts here. That's as far as me having the shop. So, yeah, it's closing in, man. It's only like 20 days or something like that, 19 or 20. So we're getting down to the wire. 60 days ago, it was like, man, we got plenty of time. And now that we're down to 20 of them, I don't have near as much time as we were thinking. And I knew it would go by fast, and I knew it would get down to the wire, and it would get down to just a matter of a few days. And still, I know how these things go at my age now. You know, no matter how fast, how hard, how much work you do, it's still going to come down to the wire. For some reason, it just works that way. if we'd have worked night and day, 10-hour days and 7 days a week, for some reason it still would have took just as long. I don't know why, but I'm kind of at the mercy of parts on the cars. So everything around the cars has to happen right now, because when the parts come in, I have to get on the cars and stay on the cars. And that way, if the cars take all the way up to the last, then I've still got all this mess. So, I'm actually getting the mess moving towards the doors and getting hauled. Metzger's gonna work Wednesday, I think it is. So I'm prepping some stuff and piling up and boxing up, and I'm getting it close to the doors. My son and I, over the past weekend, we hauled a big truckload of stuff. I'm gonna haul some stuff today, the S13 dash and the bar that holds the dash, and ICE 300 dash, and some other just random stuff I've got that'll go to the house. I'm just loading that and hauling it that way, just to do what I can while I can. And tomorrow we have to go collect at the bar, so there's not really a lot I can do in between that, because we got to be there at 2 o'clock, and it takes all evening. It'll be 7, 8 o'clock before we get done there. We do stuff before then, but end up greasy and nasty over here at a bar trying to count money and smell like oil and grease and sweat. And so I'll drag my feet in the morning, just roll out that way at 2 o'clock or before that, noon or so, get some food and eat and meet at the bar and collect there. And then Wednesday we'll pick back up, and hopefully some parts will come in. I will take the head tomorrow and try to drop it off at the machine shop. That's something I will do. But hopefully I'll have some headway between here and Wednesday, and Metzger can, when he comes, he'll bring his truck and he'll start hauling some of this stuff off too. And we probably got, let's see, I've got all 3 toolboxes still left, but I've got this green one empty, and I'm gonna start looking at the other ones to see what I can get out of those. And because I've already ran into the fact of, I've took some stuff that I needed, and instead of going through 15, 20 totes, I just call AutoZone and get it. But I'm having to buy it twice when I had it, if I'd have just waited. But I don't know what I need. So on this, really, the bolts for the mount, the tools to put the bolts in, the tools to put the cross member itself, the bolts. I got to lower it, put some oil in it. The hood, I got to put I think the hood hinges, I might already put them on. I put bolts in the hood, put the hood on. I'm not worried about a hinge or a hood hinge or whatever. I will just bunch it down or something, put a rope on it, something to hold it closed. And then this car, I've got like the struts and some other stuff that I want to try to get on it before then. And if I don't get to that stuff, that's okay, because none of it's under the car except for like 2 pieces, and they're super easy to get to. But like the coilovers, I'm going to try to change them before I leave here. And that should be the major thing, is the coilovers themselves. Everything else I can do once we get it to the house on the ground or whatever. But then the Civic, I'd like to get the Civic head done. All I need is, I've already got the gasket set in there. All I need is the head machined, the head studs, and the stuff to put it together with. So that's all, and oil, fluids, which I have that, and coolant. And then all the stuff to do my son's car, which will be a couple of tools and my cutoff wheel and my grinder and the stuff just to assemble that kit, and then put a clutch kit on. So should be pretty straightforward, and I should have enough stuff to get it all done. I do need to get some fluids and get it in this transmission. That's pretty much the most of what I got left. I'm waiting on parts, and it's really holding me up. So hopefully the Civic, the head's good. If it's not, I might figure something out and do a Z6 head, because I do have a good Z6 head. So I'll have to change everything over to do that. I think you got to change the timing belt maybe. I don't know if you change the timing gear if that fixes it, but I don't have the head studs to put a Z6 head in. So I'll have to figure that out. Making headway, and I think it's like 20 days. I'll have to look and see, but I think we got like 20 days and the 240, I'm just gonna store it. I've got the IS300 outside, the BMW, that stuff I can drive 2 vehicles, and then a third one over here. It's all that's left to try to figure out about towing. That's not a big deal. And it's not a lot of renters left to collect. I think 3 maybe. So as long as nothing major goes on with rentals and the parts come in within the next week, I should be okay. I should be. So that's keep on keeping on, and we'll just have to figure it out from here. But all right, here we go.
I'm feeling high. I'm feeling